whatever you do, stick and move. Stick and move. Don't stand in front of that man. Do not stand in front of my man.
I don't know how much confidence that Jake Paul have in all this, but you know he gonna be a lot quicker. And if he stay close to Mike,
How about Jake? What do you think of Jake?
Clown. Would you look at it as a joke if your team was like, yo, we want you to fight Jake Paul? Would you be like, come on, man?
I laugh at him.
Did you ever do a fight like that?
I feel as though in my career I can't do that right now.
Steven, I wanted you to come on the show to tell me that you think I'm a great boxer.
I think you're a damn good boxer with a lot of potential. And I got one problem with you, and I told you this already. You are skilled. You cannot be going in the ring beating up on dudes that you know don't box. You can't have a basketball player, UFC fighters. No, they strike. They don't box. There's a difference. They're not on your level.
As we all know, as a competitive sport boxing fan, this is nonsense. It doesn't make any sense for the sport, for Tank as a world champion fighting Jake Paul, as Jake Paul trying to become a world champion fighting Tank. None of that makes sense. Business-wise, this thing's going to blow up. So let's see about the business of this thing. Let's see what the narrative is for this fight. Because again, I think Jake's going to come in there and try to knock Tank Davis out. And if Tank's not taking him seriously, believe it or not, that potentially could happen. And I'll explain why. The breakdown, let's go.
Stephen A. Smith delivered a blistering on-air rebuke of Gervonta Tank Davis, declaring that the fighter should be ashamed of himself. With his trademark fire and unapologetic tone, Smith ripped into Davis for agreeing to fight YouTuber-turned-boxer Jake Paul, calling the matchup a spectacle, not a sport. He denounced the bout as a circus act and an outright insult to boxing, accusing Davis of sacrificing integrity for hype and money. The rant quickly became one of Smith's most impassioned tirades to date, as he urged fans and pundits alike not to celebrate the event, but to condemn it as a low point for the sport.
I can't buy the hype at this particular moment in time. Now, I'll give Jake Paul credit for this. At least he's in the ring with a boxer. But 57 years old is 57 years old. And 57 years old and formally walking into a UFC fight as an audience member, as a patron with a cane, it's hard to me believe a year later that you're going to be in any condition to really fight. I hope I'm wrong, but I don't know. And if you're Jake Paul, here's what I want to say to you. It's Mike Tyson, that's fine. It's a money fight, I get you, and you want to make money. But at some point in time, if you keep telling us that you're taking boxing seriously and you want to be recognized as a big-time boxer / fighter, you're going to have to fight somebody closer to your age, who is a contender at the very least in the sport and who lives with it every single day. Could you please get in the ring with somebody? Pretty please, with sugar on top. I'm interested. Gervonta Davis might be every bit as box office as Maverick himself. As exciting, as electric, because this dude performs every time out, y'all. Wherever Davis goes, wherever he fights, fans justifiably follow. He's that special. And Davis is without a doubt one of the top 5 pound-for-pound fighters in the world right now. Don't you even doubt it.
Smith underscored the massive size and pedigree gap between the two fighters, pointing out that Jake Paul typically walks around at over 200 pounds, while Gervonta Davis competes at 135. He questioned whether this kind of spectacle could tarnish boxing's credibility, warning that high-profile crossover bouts risk turning the sport into a sideshow rather than a serious competition. Interestingly, Smith's criticism of the Paul fight contrasts sharply with his earlier defense of Davis following the controversial majority draw against Lamont Roach in March. At that time, Smith praised Davis for showing true championship composure, dismissing any notion that the draw diminished his legacy. He lauded Davis's immediate call for a rematch as the move of a confident fighter determined to silence doubt and reassert his dominance at the sport's highest level.
The world to recognize. This is one of the top 5 fighters on the planet. He might be top 3.
Yeah.
You can make a legitimate argument for him being 3, 1, or whatever. Frank Martin, props to him, came into the fight 18-0, 12 knockouts. Clearly did not have the power to keep Gervonta Davis from stalking him from opening tap. That's what he did. He stalked him and stalked him and stalked him. Okay? Frank Martin caught him with some good shots. Gervonta Davis kept coming. So he can punch. He's a knockout artist. He can box. He's not given enough credit for it. Okay? He closes. He finishes. Once he smells blood, he's like a shark in blood-infested waters, Molly. He will finish you. Yep. Okay? And by the way, he is an elite boxer. And so the time has come for this man.
Smith went even further, ranking Gervonta "Tank" Davis among the top 3 boxers in the world, praising his devastating power, elite skill, and knockout precision. He emphasized that Davis is a world champion and one of boxing's premier talents, while Jake Paul, despite his growing experience, remains a YouTuber-turned-boxer who entered the sport from the world of entertainment. For a fighter of Davis's stature, Smith argued, stepping into the ring against such an inexperienced and lower-tier opponent risks tarnishing his reputation and diminishing his legacy. In Smith's eyes, the matchup falls far beneath Tank's level, and that's precisely why he declared that Davis should be ashamed for agreeing to it.
Jake Paul is a professional. At some point in time, I don't give a damn if it's a light heavyweight. Better BF, Bivol, a super middleweight, Canelo, Mexican Monster, David Benavidez, somebody that actually has a reputation. The time has come for Jake Paul to step into the ring with a cat who actually boxes for a living and give us that fight. I appreciate the fact of him promoting. I appreciate him having the cachet as a former YouTuber turned boxer. I like Jake Paul. I respect Jake Paul. I'm just saying, because I like him and because I respect him, I want to see him in the ring. And I don't want to hear, I know his numbers are better, but then he going to say, I don't need Canelo. Canelo needs me. Well, wait a minute. It ain't just about popularity, bruh.
Stephen A. Smith also voiced his strong disapproval of the growing trend of mismatched exhibition bouts, citing examples like Jake Paul versus Mike Tyson. He said Paul's matchmaking choices were disheartening and even disgusting, bluntly calling out the lack of competitive balance in such spectacles. Smith stressed that if Jake Paul truly wants to earn respect in boxing, he needs to step into the ring with real, active competitors, not retired legends or athletes past their prime. Still, he did acknowledge Paul's marketing genius and promotional flair, conceding that Paul undeniably brings massive attention and new audiences to the sport. However, Smith made it clear that true credibility can only be earned by facing legitimate, top-level boxing talent.
Right. Jake Paul responds to Gervonta "Tank" Davis call out and absolutely takes the moment and the opportunity to clown Gervonta "Tank" Davis's height in the sport of boxing. And he says here, is there a height limit in the sport of boxing? This is where Jake Paul says, and his team, Gervonta "Tank" Davis needs me. We don't need Gervonta "Tank" Davis. Let's listen here.
Gervonta Davis just posted that he would beat the brakes off of you if you guys fight.
Yeah, I mean, I'll be down. Let's run it. Like, I'll be super, super down. I don't know if
Gervonta needs Jake Paul. Let's be clear, right?
Is there a height limit in boxing?
After Gervonta Davis called him out following the Tyson fight, Jake Paul defused the tension with a sharp, self-aware joke. During the post-fight press conference, Paul expressed interest in facing Davis, but couldn't resist poking fun at the height and size disparity between them. He quipped about boxing's strict weight classes, jokingly wondering if there should be height restrictions too. The playful jab highlighted both the massive physical mismatch and the showman side of Paul's persona. It was a moment that blended humor with hype, turning what could have been a heated exchange into a light-hearted promotional spectacle that perfectly captured the entertainment-driven nature of this potential matchup.
Will it impact Tank's legacy if Jake Paul were to beat him or even knock him out?
Dude, Tank's a 3-division world champion, 4-time 3-division world champion. At the end of it, bro, you can't take anything away from him. Bro, you can't be mad at somebody for doing what they feel is best for them. It's the same way Roach feels Tank is the best option for him. Same way that Stevenson thinks Tank's the best option for him, or all that stuff, right? At the end of it, bro, we just want to do what's best for ourselves, right?
Exactly.
Right or wrong.
Facts.
So just do what's best for you.
All of a sudden, we want to know who will win in this fight, Jake Paul or Tank Davis. It's a legit question, and I actually want to really hear your thoughts on who do you think is going to win, because I know what Vegas is saying, but I want to know what you think. You got
personally, I think Tank too little, bro.
Yo,
I think Tank's too little.
I'm so glad you have a brain on your fucking shoulder.
I think Tank's too little.
I said, bro.
I think Tank's too little. That's what I'm saying. At weight classes for a reason.
Davis
that weight classes for a reason.
5'5", 135 pounds. Jake Paul is 6 feet, 205 pounds.
That's what I'm saying.
Bro.
He's too
6'1",
little.
205. Everybody's like, yeah, bro, but Tank it only takes one good punch. Yes, it takes one good punch when you're about the same size. There's a 60, 70 pound difference in weight in these people. I don't think nobody puts the physics in mind. Jake Paul gets punched in the face by dudes 200 pounds with all their might on a weekly basis. 135 pound puncher, bro. If y'all remember the Mayweather versus Conor McGregor fight, Conor walks around like 180 on the regular. He's like 5'9", 180. Mayweather's like 5'7", 145. That 30 pound difference, bro. If you remember that fight, Mayweather was putting mittens on Conor. Guess what happened to Conor? He didn't hit the ground once.
No.
He lasted all 12 rounds getting hit with flurries. I'm talking about Mayweather was having his time. He's being cocky with it, hitting him with all kind of combos. And we're watching the last 3 rounds of that shit like, yo, knock him out. And you know what? He could not knock him out because Conor gets punched by people that are 170, 180 pounds on a regular. And just that 20, 30 pound difference, it was like impossible for him to do anything. And that's exactly what I feel like is going to happen versus Jake and
Raleigh Romero views the upcoming Jake Paul versus Gervonta Davis fight on Netflix as a massive draw, particularly among younger American audiences. He believes that while Canelo Alvarez versus Terrence Crawford will captivate Mexican and Latin American fans with its elite sporting value, the Paul Davis exhibition will likely attract a larger U.S. audience, especially those under 20. In Romero's view, both events ultimately benefit boxing as a whole by expanding its reach across different demographics. He admits that Canelo versus Crawford is the superior matchup from a pure boxing perspective, but maintains that Paul versus Davis will be the bigger spectacle in terms of mainstream attention and audience engagement.
Didn't say you got your eye on Tank. What do you think about the rumors of Tank and Jake fight?
Man, Tank disrespectful to the sport if he choose that over fighting with me. I'm the best fighter in the sport. I've been telling him that. He called cap on it. So if he won't call cap and say I'm not who I say I am, come prove it. You know, you fighting pay-per-view knocking these dudes out. That don't take away the fact that I can beat this dude. That dude get to feeling himself and feeling like he's something that he's not. And to the world, he look like a killer, but I can't wait. I'm gonna expose him. I'm gonna expose him. I promise you, I'm gonna expose him. Why? I'm gonna be the person that expose him. I'm gonna be the person that he's going there. He not gonna knock out. He not gonna hurt. He got to go 12 rounds with somebody, and somebody gonna be beating him. He ain't gonna like that shit. That shit gonna mess with his heart. That shit gonna fuck with his head. Why?
WBC lightweight champion Shakur Stevenson issued a stern warning to Gervonta Tank Davis amid the growing hype surrounding Davis's potential exhibition with Jake Paul. Stevenson criticized the idea as disrespectful to boxing, insisting that a fighter of Davis's caliber should be defending his reputation against real contenders, not entertainers. Confident in his own standing as the top talent in the division, Stevenson directly challenged Davis to step up and face him instead, arguing that a showdown between two elite fighters would uphold the integrity of the sport and prove who truly reigns supreme at lightweight.
Who do you want to see? You, as a guy that's in his trainer, that's like a father figure to him, you're training him all the time, you know him, both y'all from the streets of Baltimore the whole bit. Who do you want to see Tank fight next?
I want him to get all of them that ran their mouth.
Give me the names. I need names, Calvin. I need names.
You already know. We went down. We're working on the big four. It was Garcia. That's the first one. Roma, I hope we get him soon. Shakur, he's going to get it. He know he's going to get it. It's just Bob is in charge of that. You know what I'm saying? Bob know what he's doing over there. You can't tell Bob how to run his game because he's like a vet at this. He's been doing it for so many years. That's going to happen. All the fights that we'll want, they have no choice. They're going to take the fight when it's time to take the fight. It's just right now, who's going to take the fight? That's the question.
Gervonta Davis's longtime trainer, Calvin Ford, made a bold statement in an interview with Stephen A. Smith, declaring that the only person capable of beating Tank Davis is Tank himself. Ford explained that no opponent has truly pushed Davis to his absolute limits yet, and that his untapped potential remains immense. he stressed that Davis has not even showcased his full range of skills inside the ring, and that their focus in training is to unlock the next level of his greatness. According to Ford, Tank's biggest challenge isn't an opponent across the ring. It's maintaining the discipline, focus, and hunger that have fueled his dominance so far.